Hey, what's up, everybody? Marvel's best kept secret isn't a leak, a variant, or some lazy multiverse recon. It's a reality shattering truth that rewrites the very DNA of the MCU. With being conditioned to believe the multiverse is a chaotic mess or infinity dooms. But here's the mind blowing part. What if there was only ever one? In that protected branch of the multiverse, the one meticulously pruned and guarded by he who remains, Victor Von Doom didn't exist. Or at least, that's what the TVI wanted us to think. In that timeline, his destiny was hijacked. He didn't become the monarch of Latveria. He became Iron Man. Stick with me until the end, because this story doesn't just change the past, it's reshaped entire future of Avengers Doomsday. Hey everyone, happy holiday, happy 2026. I'm Wetex, and today we are going to talking about this crazy theory that changed the entire MCU forever. Let's start. Now check it out this. Everyone is losing their mind over that shot of Steve Rogers holding a baby in the trailer. The easy guess is Steve and Peggy's sons. They happily ever after with all wanted for them after Endgame. But Marvel doesn't do happily ever after without a catch. This twist doesn't just break the idyllic ending, it incinerates it. That child isn't a Rogers. He is the emergency of the one became the conqueror who was actually terrified of. The one man who put the entire multiverse in jeopardy. That baby is Victor Von Doom. Let's look at the math. Because the timeline is screaming at us. Steve gets the serum in 1943. Tony Stark isn't born until May 29, 1970. That is a 27-year gap that never quite sat right. Here the plates. Someone, maybe a future Rick Richard or a desperate TVA agent, travel back to a young Steve Rogers with a mission to save Earth 616. The timeline needs a protector. Steve is handing a baby from the future. This is why we see him in the footage looking so insolate, holding a child in a time period where he's supposed to be a husband and perhaps with his own son. Steve does the one thing he thinks is right. He delivered that baby to Howard and Maria Stark. Think about it. Is it the ultimate survival plate? By placing the child with the Stark, Steve ensured the entire MCU happens. This baby grows up to become Iron Man, he assembled the Avengers, he built Vision, he cracked the code for the time travel, and eventually he is the only one who can snap Thanos out of the systems. Steve accepts the weight of this lie. He hands over the infant to Howard and Maria, who, as we know from the comics, famously struggle to conceive. They adopt him, they name him Tony, and the rest is history. But here the kickers. By saving the world, Steve actually stole a life. He took a child from this true Latvian lineage, the Von Doom bloodline, and forced him into the Stark legacy. Tony Stark was never just a billionaire in a suit. He was always a hijacked version of Victor Von Doom. Let me know in your comment your opinion. This baby is actually Victor Von Doom or Steve and Peggy's sons. And now we need to talk about Doom's true plan. Chaos magic and the Scarlet Witch. Yes, until you don't believe it. Here where the things get dark. Doom isn't just another power-hungry titan hunting for Infinity Stone. He's investigated the sacred timeline like a forensic scientist. He has peered into the story of Earth 616 and seen the life he could have had, the life of Steve Rogers stole from him. And that's exactly why he's hunting down Steve Rogers. He's looking for the man who effectively kidnapped him from his throne and partially caused his death. So, Doom's ultimate goal is a true universe. He wants a reality without TVA intermission, where X-Men and Avengers coexist and where incursion are a thing of the past. But to build a world, you need a battery. You need someone with the power to rewrite existence itself. The clues are hiding in plain sight. Look at the Avengers Doomsday logo. Those ancient runes circling the 8. In the comics, Doom is a master of mystic arts, blending his modern dark magic with these unblending edge texts. In the MCU, there's only one person who wields that kind of raw reality warping power: Wanda Maximoff. Think back the Half of N storyline. After Wanda breaks the world, she disappears. In the lore, Doom finds her with a total amnesia. He manipulates her, takes her to Latveria, and even convinces her she's in love with him, all to siphon her chaos magic. We haven't seen Wanda since Wonder Girl collapsed. Doom like Leopoldo from the rubble, keeping her as his secret weapon to create the new battle world. It's highly likely this is happening, especially since many sites across the internet are treating these images as the real deal. It gives us our first look at Doom, and honestly, it's pretty classic portrayal of the King of Latveria. I totally buy into the idea of a Doom who leans into magic rather than just technology. People might expect a more high-tech version because you know all about Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, all that is logic, but the look is staying very true to the roots. We also see looks for other characters. Interestingly, Steve Rogers isn't being billed as Captain America or Nomad. He just listed as Steve Rogers. This is sparking a lot of controversy and debate over Falcon's future now that Steve is back. Of course, in the comics, it's not the first time we had two Captain America acted at once, but people are spirally into the weird hate train. They're claiming Marvel is desperate or something along those lines. I mean, who in their right mind is actually obsessed about Steve Rogers coming back? We're getting the Marvel Trinity back together: Thor, Steve, and well, Iron Man, but as Doom. I had no doubt we'll see an Iron Man variant or some time travel stuff eventually. They're superheroes, they always come back. It's only the poser fans who just talk about heroes for their YouTube channel that don't get it that. I honestly don't know why you guys even follow those YouTubers. Seeing Steve as just Steve is very symbolic. It suggests this might not be his definite return as Cat just yet. We'll have to see the fallout of him handing Tony over the Stark. And despite what the irrational Marvel hated team claiming Sam Wilson will be ostracized, Sam will clearly be the first person to welcome him back. He'd be thrilled and will probably even offer the shield back so he can get his own. Maybe something Wakandan that looks more like the comics. Time will tell how this movie ends and if we'll get both Captain America in action simultaneously. Just like, of course, the comics. By the way guys, as probably you know from my previous videos, we recently got the Avengers Doomsday trailer focused on the X-Men. The biggest shocker, Magneto is a traitor. That's why everybody is buzzing about the potential showdown between Magneto and Shuri. There's a huge debate right now. Can Magneto actually control Vibranium? Let's look at how this could shift the MCU, based on what we know from the comics. In some rooms, Magneto tried to take on Black Panther but discovered Vibranium is his literal weakness. It resists his magnetic field and can even interfere with his power, blocking him from accessing things like the iron in someone's blood. Something like we watched in the first movie of X-Men. In other comics, Magneto was able to manipulate it, which is why he challenged T'Challa in the first place. However, Wakanda scientists cut off onto his plan and exchanged the vibranium to make it completely immune to his magnetism. So what does this mean for the MCU? If they decide Magneto can't control vibranium, it's going to be a massive disadvantage. Think about it. Sam Wilson's suit, Wakanda weaponry. Shuri's entire suit is all vibranium. Even neighbor biology is tied to it since his mother consumed the vibranium infused her while she was pregnant. Personally, I think making him unable to control it is the best move for the story. Having to explain every brain upgrade later on will just slow down the plot, especially with such a massive cast. Plus, Magneto is insanely powerful. We've seen him in an age of apocalypse shift the planet orbit by messing with the magnetic field while powered up. An Omega level veteran Magneto would be virtually impossible for the Avengers to beat without that vibranium edge. By establishing Vibranium as a blind spot for his power, the MCU creates a tactical chess match. It's for Magneto to be more creative with the environment, rather than just being an unstoppable god, making the eventual team-up battle much more grounded and thrilling to watch. And remember, guys, that Ian McKellen is like 80 years old, so it's important not create, super crazy battle with him. But what do you guys think? Will Magneto be powerless against Vibranium in the MCU? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more Marvel and DC content, and check out my deep dive into the X-Men trailer. Remember, it's not officially out yet, so do you want to miss it? See you there!